Hi guys, I'm Fernando and I'm here to talk about why are strings immutable and its benefits. Starting off with the word immutable, immutable means unchangeable, which means it cannot be changed. In the programming world, we have objects and values. We can create objects and we can assign values to these objects. Trying to change these assigned values is called mutation. Talking about strings in Java, they are immutable, which means once a value is given, that value cannot be changed. Actually, the developers could have made the strings to be mutable, but instead they didn't. There are some reasons why they kept strings as immutable. Some of them are to increase performance, for synchronization easeability, and security, and also caching, maybe more. To begin with, we need to understand the structure of the memory. Among many parts of the memory, I am going to talk about two parts, which are the heap memory and the stack memory. The heap memory is the place where all the strings are being stored, and the stack memory is the place where all the variables are being stored. Okay, so let's assume that this is the heap memory. And this is the stack memory. To start with, let's create some string variables. For example, another string as vehicle 2. Okay, so now what happens here is the string car goes into the heap memory and it gets a referring address, for example as 001, and the respective variable will go into the stack memory with the reference address to its value like this. So why do we need a reference address? Whenever a variable is called for execution, the reference address will get the respective value from the heap memory. Likewise, let's do the same for our second variable. The string van goes into the heap memory and it gets a referring address as 004, for example. And the respective variable will go into the stack memory vehicle 2 with the respective address to its value like this. Okay, to understand about immutability, now we will create a new variable as vehicle 3 and give the same value as variable 1, which is car. My question to you is, will the value car be added to the heap memory? It's a no. The value car won't be added. The reason is, since the value car is already in the heap memory, another value car will not be added. Instead, the variable vehicle 3 will be added to the stack memory along with the reference address of the value car as 001. As a result of this, the space in the heap memory is saved, resulting in the performance of the system to increase, which I stated was a reason for strings to be immutable. As you see, both vehicle 1 and vehicle 3 are pointing at the same value. Now let's try changing a variable's value. Let's take our first variable, which is vehicle 1, and change it to vehicle 1 equals bus. What will happen here? Will the value car change? Well, if it changes, then it will affect the variable 3 because it has the same reference address. So the answer is no, it shouldn't change. This is another reason why strings are made immutable, and also this is known as synchronization. So what happens actually? Let me show you. Since the value of string bus does not exist in the heap memory, the value bus will be added and it will get a referring address, let's say 006. And what happens in the stack memory? There will not be any new variables added, but the reference address of vehicle 1 will change to 006, making no harm to variable 3, making it a benefit when accessed from multiple threads. The string is widely used in Java applications to store sensitive pieces of information like usernames, passwords, connection URLs, network connections, etc. It's used extensively in JVM loaders while loading classes. Hence, securing string class is crucial regarding the security of the whole application in general. For example, think of a program which has string variables and this program undergoes execution. The variables in the program are being accessed by different classes and databases inside and outside the program. Finally, we receive a string with an updated value. Let's say that we received a string from an untrustworthy source. We are doing all sorts of necessary security checks initially to check if the string is alphanumeric, followed by some more operations. If the string was mutable, then by the time of execution or by the time we execute, we can't be sure that the string that we receive back even after performing security checks would be safe. This is where immutability comes to our rescue because it's easier to operate with sensitive code and values don't change. And this is another reason why strings are immutable. Another reason why strings are immutable is for caching. Since string objects which are abundantly used as data structures, they are also widely used in hash implementations like hash maps, hash tables, hash sets, etc. When operating upon these hash implementations, hash code method is called quite frequently for bucketing. The immutability guarantees that their value won't change. So the hash code method is overridden in string class to facilitate caching, such that the hash is calculated and cached during the first hash code call and the same value is returned ever since. This in return improves the performance of collections that uses hash implementations when operated with string objects. To conclude that strings are immutable precisely so that their references can be treated as a normal variable and one can pass them around between methods and across threads without worrying about whether the actual string object it's pointing to will change.